Hello and welcome to News Tonight. I am Rhoda Ngonzi, on sign language Dorothy Namuyomba. Let's take a look at the top stories tonight. Those found misusing PDM funds to be arrested and jailed. Parliament supports Cabinet's decision to align local council elections with general elections. While 10 candidates nominated for Kawempe North by-election. And Prime Minister Nabanja calls for household-level garbage laws for better waste management. Hello once again. President Yoweri Museveni has challenged dairy farmers in Ankole sub-region and beyond to embrace extensive growth of grass to enable proper feeding of cattle. The president says this will reduce animal feed scarcity and increase milk production or milk yields for the benefit of dairy farmers. This was during the commissioning of Beni Foods, a dairy processing factory at Rushere, Chiruhura district, where the president emphasized value addition as the way to go for Uganda's economic development.
The person you see arriving in this motorcade is the President of the Republic of Uganda. He is here at Rushere in Kiruhura district to commission Beni Foods, a dairy producing and processing factory. It is the fourth to be commissioned in the county of Nyabushozi.
Being a partnership na Nestle na international market za dairy abarikutwara kofi, umwani na koko. Hati niwenda kutandika kutaichoma cha kukaha bakajwanzia mati numwani bakatwara hiyo.
As a champion of integration, you have also continued to ensure that there is market in the East African region for investors, the African region, and also world over. So I am here, Your Excellency, to thank you on behalf of all the people of Uganda.
It is a journey that has seen the proprietor's dream of milk production come to pass with 1 million liters produced per day.
We believe in the potential of local dairy farmers, and with your guidance, we will build a strong foundation for a partnership that will benefit the entire community.
This achievement is in line with the President's gospel of value addition for economic development.
You are in the right place at the right time. Here we have got a big potential. These farmers, once we sensitize them, they will produce much more than they are producing now. And the demand in the world for dairy products, you know, is there. Here in Africa, first of all, but also in other parts of the world. So therefore, you have made a very good decision to come here. Now, the issues you are talking about are solvable. The electricity is there, and we are going to ensure that you get it at 5 cents per kilowatt hour.
For purposes of sustainability, there is need for growth of organic grass as opposed to artificial feeds for dairy cattle.
But now the cows here are eating with their teeth like this, because the grass is very short. Is that in order?
But when the grass is short, it uses the incisors, the 4 teeth of in front, and use them for cutting. But the teeth, those incisors, will wear away quickly if the grass is short. So I think eating with the tongue is much better, and therefore having longer grass is much better.
bazeta unza farm konka farm tene chirumu ente teni samain ente eriso rimbi echere tono rimbi okulebeza nyini kuno za sti ne shobe yama.
When this is done, initiatives such as this will economically advance the lives of dairy farmers.
Question to ask is, in Nyabushozi, this is the fourth factory in Nyabushozi. Has the price increased? I can say no, but the price has stabilized. So we are sure that once this increases, once this opens and sucks into 1 million liters of milk per day, certainly it will affect the prices upwards. And that is an incentive to farmers to produce more milk.
President Yoweri Museveni has been vocal and active on value addition and industrial development. The commissioning of this milk processing factory is one of the results of such campaign. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Now, President Yoweri Museveni has pledged to convene a multi-sector meeting in Toro sub-region to address challenges faced by tea growers and suppliers in Western Uganda. He made this commitment during a public rally in Rampara District, Ankole sub-region. The event held at Mwizi Primary School was part of the President's Wealth Creation Awareness Tour. Now, leaders such as ICT Minister Chris Badiomusi, Deputy Speaker Thomas Tayebwa, Vice President Jessica Alupo, and the First Lady Janet Museveni accompanied him. President Museveni assured tea growers that a dedicated forum will be held to address the sector's issues.
A section of leaders at all levels have on Thursday, 27th February 2025, accompanied the President of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, to Rampara District to the Wealth Creation Awareness Public Gathering.
He has been here in the region to assess the performance. He has had an opportunity to visit model farmers, to look at the actual ground person.
You have moved around. You have seen all the hills. You have forests here. You have banana plantations. We have coffee. They are all thriving because of the strategies and policies, clear strategies espoused by our president.
Fisheries testified, they received their money and they very well utilized that 1 million. They have invested in their farming. They are doing poultry keeping. They are doing piggery. They are doing fish farming.
There have been complaints here and there, and the biggest complaints have been extortion, charges of the bank, but those ones we have finished them.
Convened at Mwizi Primary School Playground, the rally summoned by the President targeted members of the general public from Ankole sub-region.
I have been on presidential zonal tours, and wherever we have gone, there is no doubting whatsoever.
The little land they have, mostly they grow matoke and coffee. That's where they earn from. And when you look around, they have listened the presidential.
This has been part of the activities of the third day ever since the President arrived in the area on Tuesday, 25th February 2025.
The people here assembled have been waiting for you, Muzei. Your Excellency, abantu ba Uganda ne bakusima abwabinjiye byokozire okuleta obusenje okuleta entunguka okugarura Uganda busya
konkani nyenda kubasiima habwo kumwakira itwabatambwire nawe buri hamwe hono muri nkore mwebare kumwakira mweterera mu ngaro
nimbashaba kaguma ni muhajira muzei na NRM omwaka 2026.
Accompanied by the First Lady, Janet Kataha Museveni, the President thereafter addressed the gathering.
Mama Janet Mamreva, kabaramutseho.
Neja kubaramutseho kandi kubahiga ngorutaro rwo kurwanisa obworo murukore mukigendereire murebe ngo buri kayona obworo bwarigamu
Bitu bingahi entunguka
mugarikemu obugega ningo bworo emyoga hamwe n'emirimo nezarwaki obugega nibukuzara emirimo abamwizi n'abagezi nibegaho naho.
Commenting on the matters of the tea business, which has been reported to have collapsed and caused issues, Museveni promises to dedicate a forum of concerned parties to address this issue.
Emphasizing the 4 words: development, jobs, wealth, and skills. And I could see my people here were understanding. I gave them the example of the Kampala-Kawale Road, which has been tarmac for 60 years. But I asked them, if you go today, would you not find poor people there? They said, yes, they are there. So what does that mean? It means we should not only talk about development, we should also talk about wealth creation and poverty eradication. I think this was the main method I was repeating.
Tomorrow we shall still be in Tugamo, but what is exciting is that even when we came with the message of getting our people out of poverty, the people are still giving us a feedback of they want to vote President Museveni in the next general election.
And the president was very clear. He has clearly told the people of Ankole the message of PDM, or parish development model. He has clearly defined development and wealth. So development includes roads and other things that government can do. But he said once there is no wealth in the household, then we are wasting time.
He has advised us. He has taken us through various stages. It is actually upon us now to put in practice what he has advised us to do.
This marks the last day of the presidential wealth creation tour in Ankole sub-region, although the president will continue holding several engagements in the area over the weekend. Robert Onyango, UBC News.
Meanwhile, Ugandans who misuse the 1 million Parish Development Model Fund will be arrested and forced to work without pay in government prisons, according to President Yoweri Museveni. The president revealed this during an interaction with journalists from Ankole sub-region held at his country home in Rachtura.
Journalists informed President Museveni that whereas he is visiting farmers to appreciate the impact of the Parish Development Model Program, many who receive the money use it to buy foodstuffs, while some use it to pay school fees. The government, through the Parish Development Model, extends 100 Uganda million shillings each financial year to 100 beneficiaries in each parish through their SACCOs. According to the president, who is currently on a performance assessment tour on wealth creation and the Parish Development Model in the Ankole sub-region, perpetrators will be required to work for at least 10 months until the 1 million Uganda shillings is recovered.
Azumuchome akorega abukoko bari mu cyome bakora bahinga ibicori bahinga pamba akora atarukushashurwa ukutubara shashuri ukwaraheze million twambara uhingira waheze million dera agenda tayi nubeja kushashura through labor in prison. This is the answer. We cannot say mutwakurugaho sente wazinywa twakwetsa no. What was sent to the government it was twakwele ijo shashwe through labor.
Regarding theft, President Museveni said they are in touch with the judiciary to ensure those involved in stealing items such as cows, goats, pigs and the produce of Parish Development Model beneficiaries are not given bail or released on police bond. The president was also surprised to learn that some commercial officers were extorting money from the beneficiaries, saying they should be arrested.
But commercial officers bakabizambat because ikindi kwijuka no kugira ngo abasasire abukano mwe tukabanza kukozesa za nadizi entandukwa operation wealth creation byona ebyo tukatuma abakozi ba gavumenti kugaburira abanaku ebyokulya mbibyo mwiroko mugaburira abanaku.
Regarding the excess production of items such as eggs, President Museveni re-echoed the government would establish factories to add value to eggs like it was done to other items like milk. President Museveni also pledged 100 Uganda million shillings to capitalize the Mbara Journalist Circle and a 36-seater coaster bus to aid their operations.
Now, the Prime Minister, Rhoda Ngonzi, has tasked the Executive Director for Kampala Capital City Authority, Sharif Buzechi, to work with the Solicitor General to develop a law aimed at improving waste management at household level across the country. The Prime Minister made this request during a meeting with a delegation from the United Arab Emirates, specifically from Emirate of Sharjah, at her office in Kampala.
Premier Rhoda Ngonzi wants government bureaucrats to craft a law aimed at improving waste management at the household level across the country. She was addressing a delegation from the United Arab Emirates, led by Senior Director of Beer Group, Dr. Punet Sanai Company that manages waste in Sharjah at her office in Kampala.
But we need to come up with a policy. In fact, a law. I was in Italy, in the city of Rimini. How are you going to partner? Are you going to come with your trucks to collect? Because the other time in Sharjah, I saw you had private people who were bringing garbage. Is it going to be the same system?
Uganda has been struggling with waste management challenges in its 10 cities, largely due to the high volume of organic waste produced.
Still need more. As you have seen,
Ngonzi highlighted that during her official visit to Limene, Italy, she observed that households are responsible for sorting their waste, with fines imposed for non-compliance. She believes this is the way forward for Uganda and has directed KCCA to begin formulating the necessary law immediately.
We need to come up with law. I need a cabinet paper, and I need it urgently. I'm giving you just 1 week, so that the other week we have a paper about bear, so that cabinet can be guided and facilitated to come up with how the way forward for waste management, not only in Kampala, but in the whole country. And that's why I felt it was that he should be present, the people should be present.
The Prime Minister also expressed her appreciation for the support Uganda is receiving from the government of Sharjah, expressing optimism about the partnership and expressed confidence that Uganda now has the right partners to help tackle its waste management issues.
We have had a number of people coming here since the other tragedy that happened here. But I'm reliably informed that your team has brought life in our waste management solutions.
The Executive Director, KCCA, Hajat Sharif Abuzeki, explained that the ongoing engagements clearly demonstrate that the waste management challenge can be addressed.
In addition to what you have asked them, could be their point of reflection so that we can know how we are moving forward with them on this. And some of them were organizing a formal roundtable discussion with them, with relevant government agencies, because you have noted that waste management is even beyond KCCA. All the cities are battling with the same thing. And also the private sector players, because they have a contribution to make in as far as waste management is concerned.
The Director General, Uganda Investment Authority, Robert Mukiza, observed that several discussions have taken place with the visiting delegation regarding investment opportunities in Uganda.
We also had a discussion about the opportunities in the tourism sector and of course the science, technology and digitization in our country. I also was glad to note that they're also interested in real estate, hospitality, and even hospitals, building hospitals too. So I will avail them of the opportunities in our country and have further discussions with them on the investment opportunity.
A senior director of Beer Group, Dr. Ponetisana, mentioned that their engagements with stakeholders have been fruitful and they will brief their directors back home about the outcomes of their discussions.
We went to the new site in Guala also. It's a huge site. It's actually almost double the size that we have in Sharjah, the one that you visited. That's about 125 hectares and acres, and here you have 230. So it's a good site to develop a similar waste management complex step by step. We move step by step.
Bear Group is a public-private partnership focused on creating a sustainable future through innovative technologies and solutions. The company provides a range of waste management services, including waste collection, sorting, and street cleaning, as well as operating a metal cycling center that processes old cars and other metal scrap. Shaidat Nasaku, UBC News.
Meanwhile, the Prime Minister has directed for the reopening of sugarcane weighing bridges for outgrowers in Masindi following complaints from farmers. The issue arose after the Minister for Trade, Francis Mwevesa, ordered the closure of the weigh bridges last Friday, leaving many sugarcane farmers stranded and facing significant losses as their produce dried up.
Bokatet by then, before Kinyara came in. Bakaba nibahondera emigendere nungi because bakoraga program mwa tukurowa tukutema zone eno this time nibabanza mara farmers ba side ekyo. Nibagenda zone eno like that. But these people bali kundu today bali the other side kandi bakujo bundo wanyu omusiri gwawo kilos nambalo tali spill off yabaga nyingi muno kyonka bule kabetaro baita hatibi.
This several times. Every time Ministry of Trade and Industry comes here and stops us from operation. This is, we have heard it about 4 or 5 times. You can look at the sugar cane, which now 5 days ago was here. It's all drying up. You can see. It's all drying up.
Here to question the powers of the minister in this free market economy to ban weigh bridges that belong to sugarcane farmers. But we want to thank the Prime Minister and the Minister of Internal Affairs for being concerned. They have written a letter to the IGP instructing him to withdraw policemen at the site.
I read that you hold and suspend the implementation of the illegal and irregular directives of the Ministry of Trade immediately, and to stop forthwith any deployment of police officers at any weigh bridge in Masindi, Hoima area.
And government has launched the construction of Biosciences Industrial Park in Nakasongola district. The park, which is the first of its kind in the country, will house pharmaceutical companies that manufacture human, animal and crop drugs. Prime Minister Rhoda Ngonzi today performed the groundbreaking ceremony at Kakoge in Nakasongola district.
Currently, Uganda imports 99% of the medical supplies, costing the taxpayer $521 million annually, approximately 1.9 trillion Uganda shillings. This has for decades made Uganda dependent on imported pharmaceuticals. In order to reduce this dependency, the government of Uganda has launched the construction of a Biosciences Industrial Park to house pharmaceutical companies that manufacture human, animal and crop drugs. The Minister in charge of Science, Technology and Innovations, Monica Musenero, says the Bioscience Industrial Park was in response to challenges Uganda went through during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Because this journey started on the 19th of March 2020, when His Excellency gave us the directive to start finding scientists to work with so that we can begin making vaccines, diagnostics, and therapeutics when we were in the middle of the fear of COVID.
The Prime Minister of Uganda, Rhoda Ngonzi, today conducted a groundbreaking ceremony that will see the first ever one-stop center for manufacturing biomedical products targeting human, animal, and plant health.
I want you to remember what we went through during the time of COVID. Those people used to work on only their people. We became secondary. And so the pathogenic economy, Bioscience Park, is designed to address these challenges. It will also serve as a one-stop center for research, development, and industrial manufacturing of biomedical products targeting human, animal, and plant health.
The land on which the park is being set up belongs to the National Enterprise Corporation of the Uganda People's Defense Forces.
The leadership of the Ministry of Defense and UPDF identified and allocated this piece of land measuring 1 square mile that was home to the UPDF 1st Division training to make for the establishment of the park. I take this opportunity to sincerely thank the Ministry of Defense and the Uganda People's Defense Forces leadership for agreeing to shift the training facility which was here to another area to give way to the development of this industrial and business park. Park will therefore create a one-stop center for a number of industries and provide the requisite trade support and business processing services, in addition to affording investors the attendant investment incentives and privileges provided by the government of Uganda.
Nabanya said this park will be of great benefit to thousands of Ugandans who will benefit both direct and indirectly.
Job creation. The benefits of this park will be felt across the entire nation, not only in Akasongola. First and foremost, it will create 90,000 jobs. Direct jobs will include over 10,000 scientists.
The Prime Minister on her arrival first inspected different stalls of science innovators.
But I have never dreamed that the government of Uganda would fund scientists. We used to get money from the US, Europe, trying to do work to try and solve European problems. Right now, I have lived my dream. I have seen this, and I'm very, very happy person. Bioscience is a fascinating industry directly responsible for many of the amazing medical breakthroughs in the healthcare industry over the past 20 years.
The park is projected to reduce Uganda's pharmaceutical import by 20% and hence contributing $5 billion annually to the nation's GDP.
Now, the Confederation of African Football Inspection Team currently in Uganda has confirmed that the country's infrastructure meets the requirements to host the CHAN 2024 tournament. Kenya and Tanzania have also received approval. Head of the CAF delegation, Samson Adamu, made the announcement during a high-level meeting with sports ministers from the Pamoja countries and senior officials from the three nations.
Following inspections of various facilities, including Namboli, Chambogo, Fufakadiba, and Wankulukuku grounds, the CAF team declared all venues ready for CHAN 2024 with only minor improvements recommended. Mrs. Janet Museveni opened the meeting by highlighting Uganda's dedication to co-hosting both CHAN and AFCON 2027, noting significant improvements in sports infrastructure as per CAF guidelines.
I'm glad to inform you that Cabinet has ratified the host agreements for both CHAN and AFCON and has approved the signing off of the government declarations and guarantees. It is now my prayer that moving forward, CAF and the local organizing committee will work closely to ensure that we successfully organize both CHAN 2024 and AFCON 2027.
The minister confirmed that Uganda had secured its required budgetary contribution of $13 million for organizing and hosting CHAN 2024. In a joint statement delivered by Engineer Peter Toom, the ministers from all three countries requested that the $13 million budget cover all host country expenses for CHAN 2024. They proposed including government accounting officers as bank account signatories to ensure proper fund management. However, CAF guidelines permit only 2 signatories, CAF and the federations. Following advice from Attorney General Chiriwa Chiwanuka, all parties agreed that expenditures from each country's $13 million contribution would require prior approval from their respective local organizing committee. Tanzania Sports Minister emphasized that successfully hosting CHAN and AFCON would mark a milestone in East Africa integration.
Again, hosting of AFCON and CHAN shows the vitality of the African people in organized things which bring them together. And this is why we feel very much honored and privileged that CAF has trusted these three countries to organize CHAN and AFCON. And all the matters that are being raised here, the intention is to make sure that we have one of the best CHAN and AFCON tournaments ever staged in our continent.
I want, again, to assure you on behalf of our Cabinet Secretary that Kenya is ready on issues infrastructure, on issues payment of the hosting fee, and all the relevant requirements that have been given to us by CAF to ensure that we host a very successful football tournament for CHAN 2024 in August and AFCON 2027.
Addressing the tournament's postponement, CAF wanted to ensure the best possible event ever.
The reasons why the tournament was postponed is because CAF deems that it's important to give justice, to do justice to the implementation, to the implication that Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda have for this competition. It will do justice to make sure that the tournament is even much better than it should have been in February. So it is with that the president of CAF said that because of the commitment that the countries have, we need to make sure that we have the best tournament ever. So with the time that we have left, we work together to make sure that the tournament would even be better than it should have been in February.
Reporting for UBC, Baguma William.
And the Parliamentary Committee on National Economy has declined to approve an additional 7.6% insurance premium to Sinosure on a €178 million loan meant for the electrification of industrial parks and free trade zones. Minister of State for Finance in charge of general duties, Henry Musaisazi, alongside the Ministry of Energy, Minister for Energy appeared before the committee to present details of the loan, which targets industrial parks in Luero, Wobulenzi, Kape, Kambale and Sukuru.
Minister of Finance Henry Musasizi and the Minister of Energy appeared before the Parliamentary Committee on National Economy to seek approval for an additional 7.06% insurance premium to Sinosure on the loan for the Industrial Parks Electrification Project. The initial loan of €178.276 was approved in 2020 and took 5 years before a request for Sinosure insurance was submitted.
The committee to note the required additional insurance premium rate of 7.06% of the loan amount to be provided by CEXIM to
to finance the development of industrial parks, power supply to industrial parks, and the power transmission line extension.
We did receive communication from Sinosure that we are required to pay insurance fees. Somehow we had not, and that communication came around July last year. So on further cross-examining the financing agreement on the conditions of effectiveness, we actually realized that we are required to pay these Sinosure fees, which is...
Committee Chairperson Ikojo John Bosco stated that they will not approve the additional borrowing before inspecting the industrial parks to assess progress on the ground.
We are not approving this borrowing here, and we shall have to inspect, go to industrial park, like the other loans which you have considered. This one shall not proceed unless we have another interaction with energy.
Members of Parliament reacted to the request for an additional insurance premium, with some expressing concern over Sinosure, emphasizing that loans are often approved, yet there is little impact on the ground.
We felt someone is creating an excuse in order to siphon money from government. This one here, because we don't have an explanation whereby after 5 years, a person says we forgot insurance.
Interest as well is partly part of the cost of the loan. Why is it that we go to an extent of even insuring? We insure even interest that was supposed to pay the interest of the loan. I really don't understand.
Some MPs expressed disappointment, arguing that while enough power is being generated, many constituencies still lack electricity.
It's high time that if a loan is secured, as we should see something being implemented. You are rushing with us for 1 hour and we approve. But don't you think we represent the people who need an answer from us?
Because we have a task to deliver power to the industrial parks. And Minister of Finance is assisting us to get the money. So let's get the approval of this money. And then the electricity access scale up. I will come and provide you the details.
Some members sought clarification on the criteria used to select the establishment of industrial parks.
In the distribution of these industrial parks, all these are located almost in the same area. What is the criteria for selection?
Number one is that all the 18 sub-regions in the country should at least have an industrial park. But for this condition to stand, the districts or the local governments in these sub-regions must be willing to provide free land.
Upon reviewing the loan documents, committee members identified discrepancies in the lender's name, with some documents listing China Exim Bank, while others mentioned the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China.
The immediate extract is talking about industrial, and then in the resolution of Parliament is talking about Exim Bank.
The financing from Industrial and Commercial Bank of China didn't materialize. So we got an offer from China Exim Bank to take on this project.
I'm Nafka Farid and Gloria Gwetabenji at Parliament.
Here's your chance to win school fees for your child for a whole year. Just pay school fees using Momo.
Hey, Mkowe High School. Na wana tufunye wo muwanguzi owa MTN Momo. Ye wangu de school fees ezo mwaka mulamba tebereza. Hey, owuliro otya mutima kati.
Banange sanyu lyenye lya mochi wago nyanjaga nyangu amali walonze erinyo.
Esisi?
Njani awangula school fees.
Eza Momo.
Eza Momo.
Ezo mwaka mulamba.
Mwaka mulamba ndi musanyu.
Oh my goodness.
Banange MTN mwene yaza ne yaze.
Wanje?
Mwebale nnyo mwebalire ddala.
Kubiriza muzadde munange yonna joli. Wallahi sasulia school fees for Momo Pay.
Dial *165 *80 hash. Select option 2 for school pay. Select option 1 to pay school fees. Enter the student number and amount and approve the transaction. You will now enter the draw to win school fees for your child for a whole year.
Alright, listen up. Quality is on a mission. It makes our gums happy and our teeth strong. See? We're moving forward and making changes.
It's kind of a big thing.
Colgate Herbal uses traditional nature's herbs and combines it with Colgate Science for healthy gums and strong teeth. And we'll leave no smile behind.
Step into a world of excellence, comfort and pride with Royal Foam Furniture, crafted to perfection right here in Uganda. We bring you state-of-the-art living room furniture and bedding products at affordable prices. Our wide variety of mattresses include orthopedic, pillow top, spring mattresses suitable for institutions like hotels and many others for home comfort. With every piece telling a story of royal excellence, our products are built with the highest quality materials made to last. Experience royalty with Royal Foam Furniture, proudly made in Uganda, so buy Uganda and build Uganda. Visit our showrooms at Ginger Road, Chambogo Junction, Bukota Chisasi Road, and on Victoria Mall, Entebbe, on the first floor.
A smile that is white, fresh and beautiful is a smile to be proud of. Discover new Colgate White and Fresh for the whole family with high quality and an incredible price.
Welcome back. You are still watching News Tonight. Government is proposing changes to the UPDF Act of 2005 in response to a Supreme Court ruling which declared the trial of civilians in military courts unconstitutional. The proposed amendments aim at redefining Uganda's military justice system and restructuring key elements of the army.
Government is proposing a number of adjustments to the Uganda People's Defence Forces Act of 2005 in response to a recent Supreme Court ruling. More of this was revealed during UPC's Behind the Headlines program.
You live in a region that has 3 conflict zones or systems: the Great Lakes conflict system, the Sudan conflict system, and the Horn of Africa conflict system. These conflict systems have small arms proliferating into the country. Therefore, non-authorized persons can easily access firearms and ammunition. Knowing our encumbrances within the traditional judicial system, many of which the councils know better than I do, backlog, like you have cases of people who have been on remand for 9 years.
Among the key changes are provisions that allow the General Court-Martial to continue trying civilians found in possession of military equipment, the replacement of the Field Court-Martial with a unit disciplinary committee, and the establishment of service court-martials for different army branches.
So if you commit a crime with a combatant or an officer, then you ought to be charged together in the court-martial. If he assists me to commit a crime, then he has qualified himself to join him in the court-martial. That's the amendment that is being brought on board.
Individuals dissatisfied with military court decisions will now have the right to appeal to the Civilian Court of Appeal.
You are armed as a civilian, right? When you commit aggravated robbery, first of all, you acquire the arm illegally. Then you commit a crime with the same gun, you qualify yourself for the court-martial. Those are the areas we want to leave you in the civilian courts to deal with, because these are a monopoly over the military.
The amendments also aimed at formally recognizing the Special Forces Command, SFC, as a part of the UPDF, expand the High Command to include more government officials, and establish a joint military command to oversee operations.
The Supreme Court recommended the presiding person of the court to be a person that qualifies to be a judge of the High Court. In the amendments there, I'm sure you have seen it, honorable members. That's number one. Number two, this very court you are talking about has acquitted some individuals. It didn't get orders to take them back. We have a history with that court.
Another proposal would grant the president powers to re-engage retired officers with specialized skills. President Yoweri Museveni convened the NRM caucus to discuss the amendments, but opposition leaders have expressed concerns over their swift progression, cautioning that they could infringe on constitutional rights. Sandra Kahunde, UBC News.
And the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, has cited understaffing as a major contributor to the backlog of cases. At present, the office operates at 38% capacity, which has led to challenges in meeting its obligations. The DPP's response followed the Auditor General's report for the financial year 2023-24, which revealed slow case file implementations due to insufficient staff.
The Parliamentary Public Accounts Committee, chaired by MP Muwanga Chivumbi, met with the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions to discuss concerns raised in the Auditor General's report for the financial year 2023-2024. The report revealed that while the office received 5,000 case files, only 1,996 were processed, raising concerns of slow implementation.
Chair, the files that we got were the 1,996 and we committed them. Chair, I want to clarify that much as we projected to have 5,000 new case files to commit, the files that we receive are not determined by us. What we receive from police is what we work on.
According to the accounting officer, Agnes Rhoda Ngonzi, understaffing is to blame for the backlog, despite efforts to address the issue. With the Ministry of Finance, recruitment funding has not been provided.
Honorable Chair, we cannot have the office of the DPP understaffed at 38%.
And when you look at the Auditor General's report, he actually indicates that 105 staff retired during this year in question.
Most of the stations are manned by one person, and the one person is serving either 3 judicial officers or 4, and sometimes the officer has to even go to more than one district.
The office also faced questions about receiving 814 million shillings in pension funds without making formal requests and paying pensions to 11 employees not on the system.
Just know this, that this special audit on pension and gratuity goes beyond one financial year, went beyond one financial year. So it seems it was a habit in your agency where you are getting these monies over the years and the total amount you got without parliamentary, without you requesting for it, mounted to that amount of money.
So sometimes, I don't know which challenges they have with the IPPS then and the HCM. They come to me and say, this person is not in the system and we have to pay. But we still pay through a system of IFMS. Yeah. Not that we just pay directly to the person's account, but we still pay through the IFMS.
Lydia Chomkama and Gloria Gutabinji, Parliament.
Also, Parliament has approved the report of the Committee on Public Service and Local Government regarding the extension of the term of office of Local Council 1 and 2 administrative units. The committee recommended that given the Cabinet's decision to align local council and women council elections with the general election starting in 2026, the Ministry of Finance should ensure adequate funding for these processes.
The Minister for Local Government recently tabled the notice of extension for Local Council 1 and 2 administrative units. It was subsequently referred to the Committee on Public Service and Local Government for consideration. The committee's report presented before Parliament noted that the current Local Council office bearers were elected in 2018. Prior to that, the country had gone 17 years without conducting Local Council 1 and 2 elections, raising concerns about the legality of their office and decisions.
Created polling posts to ease the election, and our members went ahead and created their own villages. Those villages are not known by the Ministry of Local Government. They are not coded and forwarded to the Ministry of Finance for funding, and that's...
The Local Government Council regulations allow the minister to extend the term of administrative unit councils for a period not exceeding 180 days at a time, with no limit on the number of extensions, raising concern about potential abuse. According to the Ministry of Local Government, the Cabinet has directed that administrative units and women council elections be aligned with the general elections, beginning with 2026 polls.
To note that by 2026, the country will have spent 8 years without elections for the Local Council 1 and Local Council 2 leadership. Elections of LOC 1s and women councils, if they are to be done together with the general election, the country will save 39 billion.
The committee recommended that the Ministry of Finance comply with the Cabinet's decision.
The Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development should commit and avail the necessary funds for these processes. The Electoral Commission should update its 2026 general election roadmap in line with the Cabinet directive.
Members of Parliament urged the government to increase allowances for Local Council 1 officials.
We are now in the budgeting process. We should plan to increase the ex gratia for the chairpersons LOC 1. They are given 10,000 shillings per month, but my opinion is let them increase to at least 50,000 per month.
To enter that office of the LOC1 chairman, for one stamp like this, 10,000 shillings in some areas. If you calculate by 30 visitors of that village per day, that is 300,000 times.
Other MPs, such as Nabokira Brenda, woman member of Parliament, emphasized the need for the Ministry of Local Government to develop a proper plan for these elections, as frequent extensions disenfranchise potential candidates.
But according to his report, the chair's report, they wanted to align these elections with the general elections. And by doing this, you disenfranchise those who wanted to stand for the LC positions.
Area to fill this void has created such challenges.
However, MP Odul Jonathan raised a point of order, guiding the House to remain focused on the specific motion under debate rather than generalizing the discussion.
The trend of the debate is that we have now ventured into discussing the welfare of political leaders, which is still okay. Wouldn't it be procedurally right that at an appropriate time, a separate motion is brought to deal with the welfare of all political leaders?
Question that the House approves the extension of the term of office of administrative unit councils, Local Council 1 and Local Council 2. Those in favor say aye and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
It has been passed, but can we get a record of LOCs? Because there are those who died. How are we extending their term when they are in the graves?
I'm Nafka Farid and Gloria Gwetavinji at Parliament.
Here's your chance to win school fees for your child for a whole year. Just pay school fees using Momo.
Hey, Nkowe High School. Na wana tufunye wo muwanguzi owa MTN momo. Ye wangu de school fees ezo mwaka mulamba tebereza. Hey, ulote mutima kati.
Banange sanyu byenyina lya muntu wagonya njaga nyangu amali walonze erinyo.
Esisi?
Njani awangula school fees.
Eza momo.
Eza momo.
Ezo mwaka mulamba.
Mwaka mulamba ndi musanyu.
Oh my goodness.
Banange MTN mwene yanza ne yanze.
Wanje?
Mwebale nnyo mwebalire ddala.
Nkubiriza muzadde munange yonna joli. Wallahi satulia school fees for Momo Pay.
Dial *165 *80 hash Select option 2 for school pay. Select option 1 to pay school fees. Enter the student number and amount and approve the transaction. You will now enter the draw to win school fees for your child for a whole year.
Alright, listen up. Colocate is on a mission. It makes our gums happy and our teeth strong. See? We're moving forward and making changes.
It's kind of a big thing.
Colgate Herbal uses traditional nature's herbs and combines it with Colgate Science for healthy gums and strong teeth.
And we'll leave no smile behind.
And now in business, women entrepreneurs in Uganda face numerous challenges in meeting certification and regulatory standards required for business growth and financial inclusion. A recent workshop in Kampala sought to address these challenges. The project coordinator for the Women Leadership for Financial Inclusion project, Frida Wamala, stated that through a program called New Faces, New Voices, they are working to increase access to finance and mitigate existing barriers such as limited knowledge of financial consumer rights.
Women lack access to correct information, resources, and networks to navigate regulatory requirements, limiting their ability to scale up and compete in formal markets. Under the project, New Faces, New Voices are equipping women with knowledge and skills to meet the certification and compliance requirements in a meeting held in Kampala.
Today's meeting has actually been very, very successful. We had some financial institutions come in and talk about their products and demystify what women thought about collateral requirements. We had someone come in from Uganda Registration Service Bureau talking about registering businesses.
Keynote speakers from Postbank and Uganda Regulatory Services Bureau shared valuable insights on certification and compliance.
Registration has been made easy. We are now online on the OBRS system. Anyone can access it and they can even register their businesses from the comfort of their homes. We have different YouTube videos online to help them take them step by step how they can create accounts and be able to register their businesses.
We are also very big on conducting financial literacy sessions for women. When we carry out these sessions, we tell them all about financial literacy, which can be things to do with budgeting, taxation, saving, borrowing without maybe taking more than what the business can sustain.
The workshop was a success, empowering women entrepreneurs to overcome certification and compliance challenges. Many participants are grateful to the organizers, saying it is going to exhibit positive impact on their businesses and the economy.
The training has been good. The lady from URSB has really taught us how to register our businesses, the benefits of having our businesses registered, the different businesses.
What has impressed me most are, first of all, are the prices that we are supposed to pay when we are registering businesses. So in most cases, when you're registering your business and you're dealing with legal authorities, the lawyers, they tend to price you highly.
I've also benefited from the Postbank person who came to speak to us about the finances to help women. And since we are out there to help women, there is so much that we've learned. We know now where to go.
New Faces, New Voices Uganda chapter is a not-for-profit women in finance organization with support from Graka Machel Trust Fund, is mobilizing Ugandan women with skills of financial inclusion and prosperity.
And microfinancial institutions have tightened credit management regulations to limit double borrowing through collection of data to fast-track customer credit data logins. With less than 2% of microfinance borrowers on savings and cooperatives paying on time in the digital channel, this initiative will lock risk percentages.
The risk management technologies are aiding to close the financial gap for an inclusive financial outreach within all Tier 4 service providers.
Microfinance institutions are able to comply with regulation by getting access to the financial technology providers who are providing the platforms where they can now automate their processes from manual to automated services and processes to the customers. The microfinance institutions will be able to meet that last mile person in the village if they collaborate with the financial technology providers who have technology, who have platforms.
Given the fintech contributions to deepening financial services, the tightening of the regulations will ensure expansion and accessibility of these services.
Working with UMRA, with the regulator, to make sure at least this is regulated, so that if you get a loan from one institution, so with the CRB, because we have the CRB now, that you can be able to know this person got a loan from institution A, also has a loan in institution B, so that this issue of multiple borrowing can be minimized.
These microfinance regulatory authority guidelines are fair for digital lending and transparent borrowing.
We make sure that our members operate in a professional way. With this, we have the code of conduct. Whoever become a member of AMFU, he has to go through an appraisal, and this appraisal you have to be given code of conduct. How are you supposed to operate? Through Lobby and Advocacy, we're able to get some funding from the donors, then be able to give free service to our members. And among the services, we give them trainings in governance, because governance is very key. Without good governance, you cannot achieve. We give them capacity building.
Fraud is sustained through secrecy. So when you have a fraudster that has hit one institution, institution A doesn't share this information, then the fraudster goes to another institution, does exactly the same with impunity. But we believe that we are closing in through information sharing.
This is why more than a dozen circles are meeting in Kampala to determine a new database to establish the credit trend for borrowers. Komagum Rogers and Charity Marion Imnat for UBC.
All right, and that does it for News Tonight. For now, we do return at 10 o'clock with more details. Dorothy Namuyomba on sign language. I am Rhoda Ngonzi. Do stick around.